Welcome to It's Called Soccer, the show that brings you the biggest stories, the best guests, and so much more. I'm Rebecca Lowe, host of the Premier League on NBC, and I'm joined by 8-time Premier League winner Gary Neville. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and digital shows, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts as well. Our show comes out every single Wednesday. Here's what's coming up on today's episode. We discuss Liverpool becoming Premier League champions.
What a great season for them, and Arne Slot's been absolutely sensational. I think he's the hero, really. I know that Van Dijk and Salah get a lot of the headlines, but the manager has been outstanding.
Gary asks ChatGPT, who is the biggest club in England?
Who is the biggest, though?
And Jamie sends in a message for Gary.
Liverpool are the best team and most successful team in this country. Gary Neville, that's what makes you one of the best pundits out there. One of the best, mate.
We talk the FA Cup and Super Crystal Palace heading to Wembley.
They were absolutely sensational.
I feel like all the stars are aligning, Gary Neville. Is Carlo Ancelotti the right man for Brazil?
Whoever the players are, however big the players are, they absolutely adore him and respect him.
Sweden international Emil Forsberg joins the show to talk New York Red Bulls, Jurgen Klopp, and facing Messi.
You can't prepare for Messi. It's impossible. You can't. It doesn't matter how much you talk about it.
And we have our very own It's Called Soccer draft.
I'm going to go Henry.
All right, I'm going to go Vieira.
Oh, and I've left a midfielder empty, haven't I?
I know! This is horrible! All right, Mr. Neville, we are starting off with, something that we have to start off with. I know you're not bothered particularly about it, but a lot of people are. And that is the record-equalling 20th league title. LFC 20, as everyone is calling it right now, beating Tottenham 5-1 at Anfield. Jurgen Klopp, of course, leaving last summer. In comes Arne Slot. You were there. You were on our show, actually, at Anfield. You were there until, what, minute 90 and then just scarpered or what?
Can we talk about Bergval's header at the near post? Oh, listen, that didn't get enough coverage. That is one of the worst pieces of defending.
Let's do that now.
Anyway, no. So basically, at the end of the game, I normally do a podcast, but I made the decision part way through the game. It was getting a bit fruity up where I was in the gantry, and so to be fair, literally the security guard with me was here. I got my backpack literally as the final whistle went, and Peter does his thing. He usually throws to me, but I said, they agreed that I wouldn't have to speak. So I put my backpack on, we ran for it, and we got right out into the concourse and beat everybody. However, what I didn't then imagine was the carnage and people outside, and I got absolutely abused. I mean, I snapped at
the people who didn't have tickets that just wanted to be there.
Yeah, I mean, look, they were obviously, a lot of them were in good spirits, as you can imagine, and seeing me, they just abused me. And then, to be fair, a guy on the M60 on the way home, honestly, I've never been aggressive in my life, but if I get pulled over, it wasn't a great. It wasn't a great last half hour after the game. It was a bit old school, but
okay.
I have to say that you go to Anfield, it's their day, and I always remember when Sir Alex, we lost the league to Arsenal, Chelsea. He was always very gracious, and we had to be as well. Didn't enjoy it, but you have to be gracious and respect the fact that professionally it's a great achievement to win the league. You can't talk about how difficult it is to win the league, how sort of you should measure your success by that, and then on the point where your biggest rivals, team that you dislike the most, win it, go missing. So yeah, I knew I was always going to have to be there on Sunday, and it's over, it's done with now. But yeah, I mean, what a great season for them, and Arne Slot's been absolutely sensational. I think he's the hero, really. I know that Van Dijk and Salah get a lot of the headlines, but the manager has been outstanding.
We'll talk about Arne Slot in just a sec, Gary, but one of the things you said on Sky about, you now can no longer say Manchester United are the most successful club. Of course, it is Liverpool. The stats will tell you that. 2020 in terms of league titles, but then Liverpool have more European Cups. That was quite a big storyline on our coverage. That obviously was hard for you, but there is no argument against this. You had to be gracious by admitting that.
No, and look, I said that before the game, and I said it during the game, because the reality of it is, it's a simple fact. People are going to be looking for you to say. So I grew up, Rebecca, from the age of 0 to 16, where I think Liverpool won 10 league titles without reply. and constantly had the argument about Manchester United being the biggest club in the world, I will always maintain Manchester United are the biggest football club in this country.
Even now?
And that will never... 100%. The biggest football club in this country, Manchester United. It's not even a debate. However, the most successful club now, at this moment in time, in this period, and I did add those words on the end, is Liverpool. They've won 20 titles and they've won more European Cups, and they're the two trophies that we all measure ourselves by. So that should send tremors over to Old Trafford, to the ownership and to the players. The fans absolutely will hate it. But the reality of it is, at the age of 50, you know, I'm in a different position as I was at the age of sort of like 12, 13, 14, where you become sort of like... You know, I always remember when City fans used to argue that they were as big as United because they had sort of certain things, and then there was the jokey sort of song around, you know, you had Curly Watts, a celebrity fan, and you have the sort of the biggest floodlights in the land and all that sort of stuff. You know, I don't want to be that sort of what would be sort of bitter rival that says, oh, we're still the most successful club. We're not the most successful club at this moment in time. However, I've said this regularly, Manchester United will return. You'll not keep it away. Just as you can't keep Liverpool down. They will come back at some point, and they have come back in this period. Manchester United will come back, but you're right, the debate at this moment in time, until Manchester United start winning again, is over on success. Liverpool are the most successful club in this country. What I haven't enjoyed in the last 24, 40 hours, and I haven't answered to it, is where people have transmitted that into being that Liverpool are the biggest club. They're not the biggest club. I mean, they're not.
So you can be the most successful, but it doesn't make you the biggest, yeah?
No. Yeah. I mean, that's the two separate questions. I mean, I don't know if let's put it in. Yeah, let's put it in ChatGPT.
Let's ask him. Let's ask him. The biggest club in England.
Football club in England.
I mean, ChatGPT knows.
It's doing what it does.
Okay, it's loading.
It's loading. It's saying basically.
Right. What's it saying, Gary?
It's doing. Well, I'll read it out to you so that people don't think. The title of the biggest club depends on how you define the biggest. Here are the main contenders based on different criteria: historical success, global fan base, recent success, revenue, and commercial power. Historically, Liverpool and Manchester United are neck and neck. Manchester City are currently the biggest on the pitch. Commercially and globally, Manchester United. No, I don't want to break down. Who is the biggest, though?
I don't. The conversation.
You muppet.
Oh my god! I'm not sure they're going to.
There we go. So I've pushed it, and look what happens. The question: who is the biggest though?
Right. Who is the biggest though? And it's come up with.
If we have to name one club.
Right. If ChatGPT has to name one club, I think I can see in bold it says Manchester United. So there you go, Gary.
Absolutely.
You are correct because ChatGPT said so.
Don't put it on me. Just put it on ChatGPT.
Okay.
But look, United are the biggest club. Always will be. I think, in my opinion, and ChatGPT's opinion, which is very important. But Liverpool are the most successful club, and that hurts.
We've got to move on because we've got to the bottom of that. But I have a message from somebody who probably would disagree with ChatGPT and you. Little message from our friend Jamie. Couldn't make it today. Here he is.
There we go. He couldn't make it any day.
Hi chaps, just a little message here because I can't be there with yous. As just a little mention on 20. Got a lovely little ring to it, hasn't it? 20 times. Yeah, it's nice to be back to being the best team in the land for this season, but also historically now 20 times at the top there. Obviously the 6 European Cups I think always made us the best in my eyes, but now that's confirmed, and not just confirmed by me, a Liverpudlian, confirmed by the biggest Manchester United fan on the planet, Gary Neville. He's out there saying it himself. There's absolutely no debate anymore. Liverpool are the best team, our most successful team in this country. Gary Neville, that's what makes you one of the best pundits out there. All the best, mate.
Any riposte?
No, I mean, look, Liverpool are the most successful club in this country. I said it on Sunday. But he did sort of start airing into the territory of best and biggest. I think he needs to stay clear of that.
Yeah, you've got successful, you've got best, and you've got biggest. All three, well, two of those are subjective. So most successful, we know it's Liverpool, and then people have their opinions. Okay, let's not labour this point any longer. Okay, I want to talk to you about Arne Slot, Gary, because doing the game on Sunday was just so fantastic, just from a personal point of view, to see everything unfold by the time you were having a fight on the M60. But while you were having the fight on the M60 motorway, Arne Slot was being Arne Slot. He is such a classy individual. I'm sure you've seen it when he was interviewed by LFC TV in the centre of the pitch straight away and immediately started singing Jurgen Klopp's name in the manner of what Jurgen Klopp did last season. For me, there are so many flowers to give him, as they say, and you will, I know, give him so much in terms of the football side.
Yeah.
But I just love a humble person at the top of their game. There's nothing better, is there, Gary?
No, he's been a class act from day one, and I think the biggest praise that I lavished Liverpool with on Sunday was for him. The players have done a great job. Winning 20 titles is a great achievement. Winning a title is a great achievement. But to honestly take over from Jurgen Klopp, when everybody, massively including myself, thought that this would just be not necessarily a David Moyes, Unai Emery, but a version of that where there would be just a natural drop-off because the players who've been listening to the sort of such a big personality for all those years just would not be able to react to a new voice. Honestly, the job he's done this season has been sensational. I like the way they played in terms of the style. That's what I like most, actually, in the sense that they've demonstrated that they can play different styles within matches, and we're getting away from this, you must play plan A, you must play this way. But you're right, he deserves all the credit. It's a massive achievement. It's a little thing that I'm not sure I've told this story before, but Christmas Eve, I go out into Manchester every single year with my two daughters, and we go to a restaurant, same restaurant every single year, and I'm not going to say where it is, but I went into Selfridges, just last minute shopping, and who's in there Christmas Eve this year in Manchester? Arne Slot.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, guys, is that Arne Slot over there? He was on it was the second floor, the women's floor, in the shoe section, and he was obviously with his wife, and I think his daughter was with him. And I walked past him, and I had probably about a couple of minutes talking to him and chatting with him. And one, it struck me straight away of how sort of, if you like, humble, normal he was. But the fact that actually, it told me a lot about him actually in terms of humility. That I think there are a lot of people who build up the role of being a professional football player, of being a manager, and they build up this role as if they can't go out, they can't go and do normal things, they can't go and shop. You imagine how many people within football on Christmas Eve, particularly a Liverpool manager, would say, let's say that his wife said, or his daughter said, let's go to Manchester and go shopping in Selfridges. It would have been easy for him to say, no, you go, I don't think it'd be a good idea for me to go to Manchester. You know, it's Manchester, get mithered. But he's out there, and I thought it told me a lot about him, because it's how I've always seen sort of people who feel that they don't have to change what they are. But I hope he never wins another football match ever again. But the fact of the matter is, he's done a great job, and it's been a difficult job, by the way. Not getting the players last summer, having the 3 contract big situations hanging over him on 3 of the best players in their positions in Europe, taking over from Jurgen Klopp, having players, to be fair, that I don't think are what you would call 9 out of 10 players, 8 out of 10 players, but making them players that have gone from 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10 into 8 out of 10 players, and giving those levels of performances. He's done an absolutely brilliant job, and you've got to hand it to him, because we talk about how managers need time, how managers need periods to settle in. Sometimes they don't.
You mentioned the 3 big players there. We know Salah, we know Virgil van Dijk. Every time the camera went on Trent at the end of that game, you know, it was like, what are his facial expressions? You know, he was being pushed to the crowd, and then it was really difficult to read. Do you think because now they've won the league, there's no excuse? He has to now tell us, doesn't he? He has to tell the Liverpool fans now. He can't say we're concentrating on my football.
Me, as a broadcaster and in the media, I can say, yeah, I think he's got no reason now not to tell us what he's doing. But if I'm Liverpool Football Club, if I'm my teammates in the dressing room, who, to be fair, don't want the story in the next couple of weeks before that trophy lift to be about a player leaving, they want it to be about actually the success that the team have achieved this season, about what the manager's done. I'm not sure Liverpool will let him actually announce it, even if he wanted to, in the next couple of weeks, because I think they'll want to get to that trophy lift, and then probably a few days after that, in the mid. I know it's not ideal for us, and it's something that I'm. But
it's not fair on him, is it? I mean, he deserve a send off? I feel like maybe they should give the penultimate Anfield game to him, and then the final game for the trophy. They should get together as grown-ups and say, right, Trent, penultimate game, you're going, we'll give you a massive send-off and then we'll do the trophy. You can't have him like...
Look, am I close enough to it? Probably not. I'm not quite sure that when he announces he's leaving, that it'll be sort of what would be open-top bus ride, sort of send-off mode for Trent.
They loved him. At the weekend, they did love him, Gary. I feel like they want to say goodbye.
Yeah, well, you're feeling slightly different than me on it. Maybe they do, and if they do, and that's the sentiment, we'll see, and hopefully that is the case. I'd like it to be a mature ending, if it is going to be an ending, because I think he deserves it. I think I can see why he's going to Real Madrid. It's a compelling club. You know, David Beckham, my best mate, went to Real Madrid from what was a very successful Manchester United team back in the early 2000s. So I get this. Ronaldo went in 2009. Ruud van Nistelrooy went in 2005-06. I've seen players leave our club when they've been successful at United and go to Real Madrid, and why it's such a compelling offer. And he wants to basically sort of fly from the nest and basically prove himself on one of the greatest football clubs in the world. So I get it if he went and did that. What I would say is it's that balance, Rebecca, between the send-off versus basically the story ending on a negative before the trophy lift and everyone's talking about Trent leaving rather than talking about the success of the team and the collective. And I'm not quite sure at this moment. I mean, I feel that they might go quiet and not announce it till after the trophy lift, but I hope you're right, to be fair, because I'd like to see him get a send-off and, you know, people respect what he's done.
It's Called Soccer is brought to you by our partner FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. The European soccer season has entered its final stretch. The Champions League semis are here, and the race to be there next season is tight. Plus, the MLS season is really kicking into gear. Whether you want to bet on the match result, your favourite player to score or assist, or even how many corner kicks there will be in a match, FanDuel is the place to get in on the action. New customers can bet $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's $250 in bonus bets. And if you're already a customer, FanDuel is giving out same-game parlay profit boost tokens on this week's Champions League ties for a chance to increase your winnings. Visit FanDuel.com/ICS to get in on the action. It is safe, secure, super easy to use, and if you win, the payouts are instant. Make every moment more with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 plus and present in select states, or 18 plus and present in DC. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. This episode is brought to you by Ultra Running. When you're out for a run, it should be about hitting your goals, clearing your head, or just getting out in the fresh air. The last thing you want are uncomfortable shoes that rub, or slow you down. Ultra makes performance running shoes with room for your toes, so you feel so comfortable and strong even on your toughest runs. Ultra running shoes are made to keep your feet in a more natural position, so you can move the way you were designed to. No more squeezing into a pair of shoes that aren't even shaped like feet. No more breaking in a new pair of running shoes. And no more counting down the minutes until you can take your shoes off. With Ultra, you won't even notice they're on. With shoes for the road, trail, gym, and hiking, plus a variety of styles and colours to match any outfit, any run, and any occasion, it's easy to find your perfect pair, because you shouldn't have to compromise style for comfort. Try Ultra with a free 30-day trial and free shipping at ultrarunning.com. That's ALTRA running.com.
So I'm the host because we have seen that low 11 shirt behind your head for the last 9 months. You're a massive Crystal Palace fan, and when I went over to America a couple of weeks ago to do my show on NBC, I mocked you slightly because you said that after the Saturday game in a couple of weeks, you were going to make everybody sort of stay back and watch the semi-final because there was no 5:30 game, obviously, in the Premier League. And I said, well, you're going to have a miserable sort of afternoon watching Crystal Palace. I think Aston Villa will win. However, the parts of the game that I did watch, Rebecca, they were absolutely sensational. You were over the moon, weren't you?
I think, I would say it's the best performance Palace have ever had at Wembley. And people might say, well, you haven't been at Wembley very much. But actually we have. A lot of playoff finals down the years. So we've had a fair amount of time at Wembley Stadium. And that was maybe a little bit unexpected. I mean, we just swept them aside. And fully deserved it. And the goals were unbelievable. And Ismail Assar is just so underrated. But Eze and his little Eric Cantona celebration, at a touch of the Cantonas, he just sort of stood there. I actually thought something was wrong with the goal because he didn't celebrate. Glasner, where we found him, I mean, goodness only knows. The whole thing, I just feel like it actually might be our time, Gary Neville. I think it might be our time. Yes, I wanted Nottingham Forest in the final. Yes, I did, of course. Partly because I do think that would be a better spectacle in terms of the two sets of fans, the histories of the club, Forest being Forest. Because I think I heard today that Manchester City have been at Wembley 28 times in the last 10 or so years. I know they didn't fill their quota of fans. We will have those tickets, please. I am okay though. I know Rodri and Haaland are coming back, but I'm actually thinking I think it could be our time.
So you don't mind missing the odd NBC weekend, obviously, to go on holidays and do various different things. Will you be missing that weekend as well to come over and watch the game in FA Cup?
We are currently in the works trying to make it work. The last time I saw them play live was the playoff final 2013 against Watford at Wembley, 2 months before I moved to America. Okay, so last time I saw them play live, because every international break, they're obviously not playing, so I can't see them. Yeah. Now I'm going to get to see them live twice in a week, if I get to go. FA Cup final, followed by the final day at Anfield, where it's going to basically be a rehearsal for next season's Community Shield. And when I was 9, Palace were in the cup final against your lot, right? I couldn't go. I was 9, I guess. In 1990, girls football, not really a thing, especially when you're 9. And then in 2016, when we were in the final, also against your lot, I'd just given birth 2 weeks before to Teddy. So I have been to all the playoff finals in my lifetime, but I've never been to the FA Cup final. We've been there twice. We've never won a trophy, ever. I feel like all the stars are aligning, Gary Neville. I'm like still on cloud 9. I still can't believe it. And we're a great club. We are a great club. We have a massive following. Wembley will be amazing. So interesting news, Gary. Carlo Ancelotti is going to take the Brazil job, looks like, and Xavi Alonso is going to replace him at Real Madrid. It is Ancelotti's second spell in charge of Real Madrid, coming to an end, it's reported, at the end of the season. The Brazil national team aren't in a great place. That's where Ancelotti is going to go. He's got a World Cup qualifier early June, actually, to get things going really quickly. He's done, obviously, a brilliant job. 2 La Liga titles, 3 Champions League titles over his 2 spells. Brazil and Ancelotti, you kind of feel like that might work.
Well, one thing about Ancelotti is that the players absolutely love him. Whoever the players are, however big the players are, they absolutely adore him and respect him. And Brazil, obviously, I think is the most magical nation in the world when it comes to football. So it's a massive move by Brazil to bring him in, but also I think he's got the temperament and the composure and the experience to be able to deal with the pressure of that job. Alonso going to Real Madrid, I think, is a great move. I mean, what a move for him. But going back to Ancelotti, honestly, I think to be so successful at Real Madrid, with all that pressure, all those characters, he couldn't have had a better grounding for where he's going in respect to Brazil. In fact, Brazil might even be calmer and more. Yeah, it might be. It won't be an easier job, because no job's easy in football, but it could be a pressure that's less for him in terms of what he's had to cope with. When you said before about Manchester United and Real Madrid are an enormous football club. They're a giant, and they are expectant, and you've seen it in the last couple of weeks. Like, they turn quite quickly. I think Mbappe was getting booed, wasn't he? I think a couple of weeks ago. So no, huge. Carlo Ancelotti, I don't think anybody has a bad word to say about him. I know that people who've played under him absolutely love him. So well, all the best to him, and well done for his. What I like most about him, by the way, as well, is that, again, this philosophy values play that we've been told that the game model must be. Again, a man who really hasn't got a specific game model that adapts to certain sort of what would be environments, and I do like that style of football.
Okay, FanDuel picks of the week time, Gary. Time for our picks of the week, brought to you by FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. We need from you a score and a goal scorer for 3 games that we've picked. We're going to start with the semi-final first leg between 5-time European Cup winners Barcelona and 3-time winners Inter Milan. That's this evening in Barcelona. Give us your score.
I'm going to go 1-1.
Okay, 1-1. Can I have a scorer from either team?
I'm going to go Lamar.
Yep. Took you a long time to get to that. Okay. I'm going to go 2-0 Barcelona.
You're going to 2-0 Barcelona?
Yeah, I am. 2-0. I'm going to go for a Pedri goal. Are you sticking with Lamine Yamal?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't sound massively convinced, Gary.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with it.
Okay, you stick.
I'm not
Okay,
change.
all right. Athletic Bilbao against your lot. Europa League semi-final. First leg score, please, in Spain
Away.
this Thursday. Yes.
They don't lose a lot, this team, and they're a good side, and they've got a brilliant manager. I'll go 2-1 Bilbao.
Give me a score.
I'll give you the United scorer. Maguire.
Oh, that is mad. That's literally what I had. 2-1 Bilbao, Maguire, which is what I picked. I am assuming I'm not allowed to do the same as you. Am I allowed to do the same as you? Can I?
Of course, you've done
All right,
it.
I'm going to do
Just
the
go
same.
for it, yeah.
All right, and game 3, Sunday, Chelsea-Liverpool in the Premier League, which is all about Chelsea's attempts to get into the top 5. Scorer and score.
I actually think Chelsea could win. I'm imagining that Liverpool have had a massive party that's not, to be fair, ended till
I saw
probably
some
still
clips.
going
I
now.
did see some clips. It looked good. It looked big. It looked good. It looked late.
And I suspect you have those drinks. Those lads haven't been drinking for a month or two. They're just going to absolutely go crazy. Their bodies will just be into shut down up until Wednesday, Thursday. They're going to train a bit slow, a bit sloppier. And I think they'll just get edged out. I think it'll be 2-1 to Chelsea.
Scorer?
Scorer for Chelsea. I'll go Palmer.
Ooh, that would be his first goal since January the 14th if he scores. I'm going to go Liverpool 2-1. Gakpo is going to be my goal scorer in Liverpool's, one of the goal scorers in Liverpool's 2-1 win. Those were our picks of the week, brought to you by FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
This episode of It's Called Soccer is brought to you by Peloton. Have you had that moment when something clicks and you realise it's time to take your fitness seriously? So for me, the big moment in my fitness journey, particularly in my post-career, was when I got to about 39, 40. I'd been retired for 3 years and I thought I could take my foot off the gas. I looked in the mirror one morning, maybe a lot of us have had those types of moments, and thought, I need to get going again. I didn't feel great, eating too much, started to find a little bit of wine, starting to eat chocolate more and more, got out of the routine that I'd been so used to whilst I was playing football, and decided to get back on it again. And 4 or 5 times a week now, I go to the gym, I jump on my Peloton bike that's down here in the basement in my house and go for it. And it's changed the way in which I am. I feel like I'm certainly not as fit as I was back in my football days, but I feel so much better for doing it. That's where Peloton comes in. Whether you're squeezing in a 20-minute strength class over your lunch break or getting a proper run in at the weekend, Peloton has what you need to achieve your fitness goals, no matter why you got started. They've got classes and programs for everything: running, strength, recovery, you name it. And you can do it all at home, in the gym, or even out on the road with the Peloton app. And it's not just about getting stronger, it's about feeling better, building that fitness routine and proving to yourself that you can do it. Plus, if despite all your pre-season hopes, this season's not going to end in glory for your team, Peloton's meditation classes are a real game changer for your mood. Whatever it is that sets you on your fitness journey, join our community of thousands of members whose lives have been changed. Find your push, find your power with Peloton at onepeloton.com.
Well, now it is time to welcome a very special guest to It's Called Soccer. Before joining Major League Soccer, he made over 300 appearances for RB Leipzig, where he scored 71 goals and won 2 German Cups with the Bundesliga side. He's represented Sweden at 2 European Championships and a World Cup. He's got 90 appearances for the national side. Now plying his trade as captain of the New York Red Bulls, a very warm welcome to 4-time Swedish Midfielder of the Year, Emil Forsberg. Emil, thank you so much for joining It's Called Soccer. Just before we press record, you were telling us that you grew up a Liverpool fan. So you're very welcome on this podcast.
No. Thank you. Beautiful presentation, by the way. Thank you. Happy to be here. Happy to talk to you guys. It's amazing.
Oh, you are so welcome. It's great to have you. The season so far, New York Red Bulls, some wins, some defeats, some draws. You beat Montreal at the weekend. I think you're 8th right now in the Eastern Conference. How are you assessing the first quarter or third of the season, Emil?
Yeah, it's been some ups and downs. I think we played good some games, bad some games. It's been a little bit we have a lot of injuries, we had a lot of injuries. So it's been a little bit up and down, but came back now winning against Montreal, which was important for us. But it's a long season, 9 games played. So we have a lot to work on, but as usual in season, sometimes you have up and down. And I think it's better to have them at the beginning of the season and not in the end of the season.
Exactly. And you're part of the Red Bull group, of course, coming over to New York Red Bulls from RB Leipzig. New York, is it just the Red Bull pull, or was it the city itself for you?
I mean, I spent 9 years in Leipzig in Germany before, so I think it was kind of not. I don't want to say obvious, but it was a reasonable step for me to take after spending 9 years in Germany, and to go take the step over to New York Red Bulls and try to create something special here as well. I think it was meant to be in that kind of way. I had a fantastic time in Germany with RB, and got to. I always like, as now I'm a little bit older. I'm 33. You think a lot, and I'm happy about those 9 years in Leipzig. Try to create that kind of, not legacy, but just staying there, achieving something with the club that I went up with in the first division. It's something it makes you proud, as long as your career goes, that I was able to stay and kind of create some kind of legacy there. And then taking the step over here, and last year winning the Eastern Conference and going to the final as well. I think it's been an amazing journey so far with the Red Bulls, so to say.
Emil, what are the sort of values and principles that run across the Red Bull teams that you've played for? Obviously, you've played for one in Germany, now one in the US. What is it that connects them?
I think it's the playing style, how we want to play football, with high pressing, intensive runs, winning the ball, play it forward as fast as you can, and just playing this quick football. I think that what stands out with us in Red Bulls. We want to always play forward. We want to play fast football, 1-2 touches, and go fast. And I think that's been the motto ever since I came with Ralf Rangnick. And then we changed it a little bit with Julian Nagelsmann, but just the kind of Red Bull way is always playing fast, playing forward, being aggressive, and trying to, even without the ball, having those intensive sprints all the time. That's the kind of the Red Bull way, so to say.
What do you make of sort of the style of some of the teams now, when you see the defence at the back, or you see the goalkeeper rolling his foot on the ball, playing passes so deep and then playing so sort of horizontally? What do you make of that when you see teams from obviously a perspective of a team that don't play that way?
I mean, I think it gets kind of boring. I don't think we get that aggressive, intuitive football what we need. When you're playing fast, you need to make fast decisions. Of course, you have teams who are gonna stay with 10 men behind their own lines, half line. But I mean, I think everybody loves fast football. The way when it goes fast, you have a lot of duels, you have a lot of emotions. You win the ball, you try to win it back, you play forward, you have a chance. I mean, nowadays I think it's a little bit more about. We talk so much about structure, but I want. As I came to Leipzig, which was more like sometimes maybe lose the ball to win it back and just go forwards. A little bit more like intuitive football, you know what I mean? Like, you want to play the ball fast to him, so he has to make a fast decision, and then this guy has to make a fast decision. I think we miss that a little bit nowadays, if you ask me. I think it's more like structural. You pass him, and you pass him, and then you pass. I don't know. I want it fast. I want emotions. I want it to be like with a lot of emotion, and yeah.
Well, obviously Jurgen Klopp's joined, Emil. Well, how has that sort of influenced, or what influences he had in terms of on the group that you've seen?
I think he's been visiting all Red Bull clubs now from the beginning. I think his influence is, how do you explain it, is unbelievable. I think the way he thinks about football, the way he wants to see football, and what he's going to bring to the clubs is unbelievable. It's going to be so good for us. And his input in every single way on how we train, how we play games, how to think, and how to be as a human being. I think all of that in a package is going to be so good for not just for the players, but for the coaches, for everybody around as well. I think his influence on everything is going to be big.
Was his role, when he came to visit, was his role on the field out there with you guys, or was it more in meeting rooms?
No, that was more of a presentation, because he just started. He came to us in, I think it was end of February, so he just started. So he just wanted to introduce himself and a little bit how he thinks football should be played and what he's thinking about. So I mean, in that way, it was just an introduction from the first on. But I think he's grabbing more and more space every day that goes by, and everybody who needs help, I think, will get that.
Emil, I just want to ask you about last season. You mentioned, of course, winning the league, as we would call it, winning the Eastern Conference, but then losing to LA Galaxy in the MLS Cup final. How have you managed to get your head around that sort of different way of football?
Yeah, I mean, as a I came from Germany where you play either come first or you come last, or like here you can come eighth and you can
Yeah.
still reach the finals. I mean seventh. I mean it's a little bit different. It. Everybody told me when I came, yeah, but it's the playoffs is totally different, and I think it is. It totally is. So it was a kind of a strange feeling because I've never done that before, and in Europe you don't have that. In part of I think Belgium maybe has that playoff thing, but it was different. It was new, but I mean we had a great playoff run. It was fun, a lot of fun. But I mean it's that kind of league. Everything can happen here. Every team tried to do as good as they can, and I think every team is developing a lot more now. I think the league is getting more and more competitive. I think the players we're getting here is also better and better. And you can see a lot of more players turning their heads to MLS now, because I think it's a league with great potential, a country with great potential with the football. So I mean, everything can happen in this league. I didn't believe it before I came here, but as of last year, as I myself experienced it, it truly is like that. Everything can happen.
Emil, how do you prepare for Messi?
Oh yeah, you can't prepare for Messi. It's impossible. You can't. It doesn't matter how much you talk about it. This guy, he for me, he's the greatest player of all time. The way he sees the game, the way he plays football. But I mean, you can't prepare because the things he do, the passes he makes, the way he thinks about football, the way he acts, and the way it's you can't. We're gonna do our best, of course, but it's gonna be hard.
We're going to do our best.
But I mean, it's just like we've seen
Will
it.
you change it? Will you change anything?
Yeah, I mean, you have to change a little bit, but of course, you have to defend good as a team.
Yeah.
We're going against a side with a lot of great footballers. You have Suarez, you have Busquets, you have Alba. They're players with a lot of responsibilities and also experience. So it's gonna be hard, but you can't focus on one guy, even if you know, like it sounds you have to, but you can't. You have to defend as a team. You have to attack as a team, and I think if we do the things right, we still have a chance. Of course, I think we have a good chance.
Will you be man marking him?
No, I don't. So. I think everybody throughout history have tried that. I don't know if it worked any time. To be honest, I don't know. He's incredible.
Emil, you said you're 33, which this day and age in football is still very young. I want to talk about next summer. You've played for Sweden now for 11 years. As I said at the top of the show, you've done it all. But now you're living in the United States with the World Cup just over a year away. Have your eyes gone there yet?
First of all, I want Sweden to make it to the World Cup, of course. I think we have some great players coming up. We have some players doing fantastic in Europe right now. I think Swedish football now is getting better and better. I think the quality of players that's coming up now, it's really fun to see. And we have to build on that. I think when you have the chance to build on something like this, when you have players coming up performing so good in the Premier League, for example, you need to build on that and have to give these guys confidence to do what they do in the Premier League, in the national team as well. So first of all, we need to go there. We need to make the group, finish the group in a good way, first or second, I think it is, to be able to go. So, but the chances are good. I think the quality we have in the Swedish national team as of now is really, really good.
Well, Victor Gyökeres and Alexander Isak are two of the best, if not the two best strikers in the world right now. You're not missing out on the World Cup with those two, are you?
No, I mean that's some easy goals right there, right? No, but that's what I mean. You gotta let these guys be themselves in the national team as well to play the way they play in Newcastle or in Sporting. But we have Dejan Kulusevski, we have Yasin Ayari in Brighton as well, doing well in the Premier League, and Lucas Bergvall in Tottenham as well. Young guys who are playing in and out, doing it really good. So I mean, it's important to give these guys confidence, to push them, to believe in themselves for the national team as well. And if then, we will have great chances, I think.
Gary, any more football questions before I ask Emil about life in New York City?
To be fair, I was in New York 2 weeks ago, Emil. Two things: how bloody expensive is it, and how difficult is it to get?
No,
how difficult is it to get? How difficult is it to get around?
It's unbelievable.
Seriously,
yeah.
you can't get around the place.
No, it was great. I actually bought I was out walking yesterday. I bought a coffee. It was $7, and I was like, this is.
What is happening? Are you in Manhattan itself?
I don't want to complain, but it is expensive. It's truly expensive, and yeah.
Are you in the city itself? Are you in Manhattan, or where are you
No,
living?
I'm in Jersey City. I'm just straight over,
Okay.
so I have a beautiful view over downtown New York. So I can't complain.
That is a good life. That is a good life. Well, Listen, we wish you all the luck with
Thank
the
you,
rest of the
guys.
season with New York Red Bulls. It's
Thank
been a
you.
pleasure to have you, and we hope to see you next summer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure talking to you.
So that was great to hear from Emil Forsberg there. And staying with Major League Soccer, Gary, we have to talk about your brother. What a job he is doing at Portland Timbers. They beat LA Galaxy 4-2 at the weekend, a result which moved them into second in the Western Conference. They've got 18 points. They've gone 7 unbeaten, Gary, and are tied for most goals scored in the league with 20. It is the club's best start to an MLS season.
Best ever, yeah.
Which is massive. That is how he said pre-season when I met up with him in Palm Springs that he wants the team to play. It would just depend how long it would take for them to get there. You must be made up.
Just something, obviously I look out for United and Salford's results. They come through obviously on the Saturday or the Sunday if United are playing, but then there's always that sort of waking up in the morning and the notifications on my phone as I'm waking up, and I know it's the first thing that I'm going to see because I know he's playing, because I always look for when his game is. It's never at a sort of reasonable time. It's always like ridiculous o'clock. But I was so happy that, because I always think, every time last year, but even in MLS, you always seem to sort of like win at home, and then very difficult to get a result away from home with the travelling. It's hard work.
And no away fans, so there's no support.
Yeah. So to win 4-2, I know they've had a difficult start to the season, and obviously we've had people on here talking about how challenging it's going to be for them this season, LA Galaxy. But still, I was made up for him. Last year, obviously, got in the playoffs, which I think was good. But then, obviously, that playoff game that they had was, I stayed up for that game that night, and it was a tough one. Really, fingers crossed, too early. Not a time to get carried away. But the signs are looking good, and the football they're playing is fantastic. And I always text him, and he was really happy after the game.
Although, to be fair, now that you see how well Vancouver are doing, that playoff game when they lost 5-0 at home to Vancouver doesn't actually look as bad anymore because Vancouver are pulling up trees all over the place. Okay, we're going to end today's show with a bit of fun. Last week it was the NFL draft. I don't know how many waves that made in England, which saw Cam Ward selected as the number 1 pick by the Tennessee Titans. He is a quarterback. So we thought we would have our own, it's called soccer draft, okay? We're going to be competing against each other, taking turns to pick from 5 Premier League winning sides to build a 5-a-side team. And then the people, the viewers, the listeners, are going to vote, hopefully, and leave their comments which team would win. Your 5-a-side or my 5-a-side? Okay.
Right,
so the 5 players available for you to pick from. Actually, I'm going first, so I'm making the rules. So the Manchester United 1999 treble winners. Okay, Schmeichel, Stam, Beckham, Giggs, or York. I'm going Giggs. Who do you want?
Do you have to pick a keeper within the 5?
Well, I haven't. Do you know what? Probably. But when I was looking at this before, I haven't. So I've decided just to go for it. We're just not playing keepers. So
I'll pick a keeper. I'll go Schmeichel. All
right, Schmeichel. Arsenal Invincibles. Lehman, Campbell, Vieira, Bergkamp, Henry. Who do you want?
I'm gonna go Henry.
All right. I'm going to go Vieira. Chelsea under Mourinho that first season, which, by the way, he got 95 points. Can you actually believe that? In his first season in English football. 5. Cech, Terry, Lampard, Robben, Drogba.
I'm going to have to pick a defender at some point, but I'm working on the theory you're going to give me a City team that's got company, and so I'll wait for him. I'm going to go for Ian Robben.
Okay, I'm going to go for Drogba. I feel like my team's just absolutely amazing. Okay, Manchester City 2011-2012. That team you were just saying, I'm going to give you Hart, Company, Yaya Toure, Carlos Tevez, Sergio Aguero. That's a joke, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going Company. That's what I was waiting for. So I've got Schmeichel, Company.
What am I going to do?
Schmeichel, Company, Ian Robben, Thierry Henry.
Yeah. And crikey, I need to keep. I think I'm going to have one. I'm going Giggs, Vieira, Drogba. It's not the worst. And I'm going to go, I don't really want Joe Hart now. I'm going to go Joe Hart because I'm going to have to, I think, go Joe Hart because I'm looking at...
Your 5-a-side team's definitely not getting picked here over mine.
Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to go Yaya. Okay, final, I think it might. Final is the Liverpool from this season. Alisson, Van Dijk, Trent, McAllister, Mo Salah.
Oh, and I've left a midfielder empty, haven't I?
I know! This is horrible! So you're going to have to go...
Oh my God! So I've got. What's my team? Who have I picked?
All right. So you've gone with Schmeichel in goal. You've got Thierry Henry, Ian Robben, Vincent Kompany.
Oh, I know what I'm doing.
So you probably need a midfield.
No, I know what I'm doing. I'm going.
You're going Trent, aren't you?
I'm going Schmeichel.
Yeah.
I'm going Company and Van Dijk.
Company.
And I'm going Robben and Henry.
What? That's quite I think. Okay.
Well,
all right.
what I'm saying
you
you ain't scoring.
Okay.
And them two are going to go and win us the game. Ian Robben, by the way, is a phenomenal player.
He was
phenomenal
right.
player.
I'm going Alisson in goal, right? And then I'm going to go. I don't think I picked a defender, so I'm going to go with Yaya and Vieira, kind of defending-ish, and then I'm going to go with Drogba and Giggs. I mean, that's a joke. It's not a lot of defending going on, but they're big lads. It's going to be okay. So that's mine. That's yours, Gary.
It'd be a hell of a five-a-side, that, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And I'm interested to know what kind of philosophy everyone thinks will win out of those two. Yours is more mainstream, steady, structured. I'm a little bit of a maverick.
Steady and structured.
Well, you've got two centre-halves.
I've got Ian Robben and Thierry Henry. I mean, seriously, you've got Ian Robben on the right cutting onto his left, and you've got Thierry on the left cutting on his right, and then you've got two absolute animals at the back who just won't let anything through in Company and Van Dijk. I mean, seriously, you've just got amazing defenders and amazing attacking players. Ian Robben can drop in as well and just play a little bit like that.
Okay. And I haven't got a single defender, so we'll just see how this turns out. Get in touch in the comments. Let us know which one you think would win. Gary's team or my team. Pick your own team as well if you want from those options. And we'll see you next week, mate.
See you next week.
Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.